Welcome to the Secret History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. English archaeologist Howard Carter examines a significant discovery near Luxor, Egypt. In 1922, he opened the innermost chamber of Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb. The discovery revealed objects preserved for centuries, providing crucial insights into ancient Egypt. This photo captures a historic moment in aviation. A U.S. Army Sikorsky R-5 helicopter takes off carrying 17 passengers plus the pilot at once. On June 10, 1969, Robert Corder conducted an innovative test at Fort Myer, Virginia. He was experimenting with a personal flight device known as a jetpack, which allowed him to lift off the ground using propulsion. Crowds gathered to watch Harry Houdini perform a daring stunt. He jumped off a bridge while chained. These demonstrations boosted his fame as one of history's most remarkable illusionists. This is the Viewphone, a video telephone created by Toshiba in 1964. The device enabled real-time video calls. It was one of the earliest technologies that foreshadowed modern video calling and is considered a milestone in communications advancement. This is the famous and enigmatic structure known as Dracula's Castle. Located in the mountainous region of Transylvania, Bran Castle was photographed in 1884. In 1941, an image drew attention by showing a curious nautical design innovation. The photo features a model on a boat made of clear lucite, allowing viewers to see the water directly beneath her feet. In 1938, a landmark moment occurred in the United States. The first wireless newscast in history was broadcast live from a New York radio station. In the image, children excitedly follow the children's page of a Missouri state newspaper. Resurrectionists were people hired to dig up bodies in cemeteries during the 19th century. They sold the bodies to medical schools that needed specimens for anatomical study. Two men in New York demonstrate the double-ender, a shared pipe. The photo was taken in June 1949. This curious object allowed two people to use the same pipe at the same time. Venus, the bulldog, became known as a military mascot during training in the 1940s. She accompanied soldiers at bases and exercises, becoming a symbol of courage and team spirit. This is the Telefon Tornet Tower, located in Stockholm, Sweden in 1890. It was built to connect over 5,000 telephone lines across the city. Workers cutting blocks of ice directly from frozen lakes, a common practice before electric refrigeration became widespread. At that time, ice was harvested by hand in winter and stored for use throughout the year. In 1961, Goodyear introduced a technological novelty in the automotive sector. Tires that glowed in the dark, made of synthetic rubber and lit by lamps installed inside the wheel. At the NACA high-speed flight station, engineers and human calculators performed complex tests on aircraft. NACA was the predecessor agency to NASA. A giant octopus-shaped balloon is launched at the Barrage Balloon Training Center in Camp Tyson, Tennessee. These balloons were used as part of air defense measures. This image shows an acoustic listening device with two horns at Bowling Field, Washington, D.C. in 1921. Before radar was invented, equipment like this was used to detect enemy aircraft at long range by sound. British soldiers observe a small remote-controlled vehicle in operation. The equipment was designed to travel on rails and accurately reach specific targets. Saigon was a robot developed in Italy in 1957. It could move forward, backward, and even lift lightweight objects with its mechanical arms. Eric Robot, seated next to his inventor, Captain W.H. Richards. He was unveiled to the public for the first time in 1928 in the United Kingdom. Eric could move his head and arms and utter simple phrases, making him one of the earliest examples of humanoid robots built for demonstrations. In 1964 in Japan, a robot named Goro was unveiled to the public. It was designed to move on articulated legs, mimicking human steps. In 1961 in California, a mobile robot was unveiled as an advance in electronic technology. Called the Mobile Robot, it was developed by the Hughes Aircraft Electronic Laboratories. The Meuse-Argonne campaign begins, led by the United States Army. It was one of the largest offensives carried out by American forces during the conflict. The advance played a decisive role in the final events that ended World War I. The Golden Gate Bridge was opened to the public by cutting through a silver chain instead of a ribbon. This event marked the inauguration of one of the world's most iconic structures. A robot called Barbar Roa was presented by Adolf Whitman. Whitman was a well-known German inventor. The demonstration showcased technological innovations of the era. In 1945, an elephant helps load supplies onto a U.S. aircraft. The image shows how these animals were also employed in heavy tasks thanks to their strength and endurance. A woman strolls down a street riding an early motorized scooter. The photo, taken in 1916, shows one of the first personal motor vehicles. This type of transport was beginning to gain traction as a practical short-distance alternative. This vehicle was driven by Walter Arnold when he received the first recorded speeding ticket in history. The incident occurred in 1896 in Kent, England. This is the Dale Creek Bridge, a structure built in Wyoming in the 19th century. It was part of the first transcontinental railroad in the United States. The bridge stood over 148 feet tall and was completed in 1868, making it one of the tallest of its time. The vessel was called Princess May, and the incident took place in August 1910. The image became famous for the ship's tilted position and was featured in several publications of the time. In 1929, the laryngophone was created, a special type of telephone. This device transmitted voice vibrations when pressed against the throat or cheek. It was designed to block surrounding noise and allow clearer communication in loud environments. During the 1950s, a new device called the lawnmower of the future was showcased to the public in operation as an example of home innovation. In the United States in 1921, a baby carriage with a built-in radio was invented. The device included an antenna and speaker. The idea was to keep the baby entertained during outings, combining innovation and comfort for the time. In Maryland, inventor J. George Stern unveiled his latest invention on November 10, 1938. That era was marked by technological advances and great creativity, with inventors seeking innovative solutions for everyday life. In 1968, French inventor Alain Dame introduced a practical and whimsical creation. He developed an automatic spaghetti twirler made to win pasta strands with ease. A model showcased an electric spiral bra, developed as a technological innovation of the era. Demonstrations like this highlighted how futuristic ideas were gaining ground in fashion and science. In the United States during the 1940s, Charles C. Lang unveiled his curious creation, a new bra model. It was strapless, lacked rigid structure, and did not use any conventional support. The clapskate, invented by R. Handel in 1936 with a movable heel plate, only gained widespread recognition in 1996 when it revolutionized speed skating. A man stands beside a massive wine storage vat in Kakheti, Georgia in 1881. Kakheti is one of the country's most traditional winemaking regions. A city worker lights and maintains public street lamps. This work was done manually before modern electric automation. In some historic towns, this traditional lighting can still be found today. In Old England, before alarm clocks became affordable, it was common to hire a knocker-upper. This person was paid, usually 6 pence per week, to wake people by tapping on windows with sticks or slingshots. Special eyewear known as Hamblin glasses were created to make reading while lying down easier. These glasses used internal mirrors that let the wearer look at a book without lifting their head. This image shows a group of smiling women and a child wearing unusual inflatable swimsuits, likely designed to aid flotation. In this image, a group of women was detained for wearing swimsuits deemed too short by the era's standards. At that time, some American towns had strict laws regulating public attire. Designed to be portable, this 1950s monopod stand was a practical way to rest during walks or long periods of standing. It allowed the user to lean quickly without carrying a full chair. Jack, the baboon, served as a railway assistant in South Africa in the late 1800s. He helped a railway worker with signal controls for nearly 10 years. According to period accounts, Jack never made a mistake during that time. A key part of logging involved hauling logs during winter. In cold regions, extraction and transport of timber often began with snow, making it easier to slide the logs. A soda fountain attendant, known as a soda jerk, is seen skillfully preparing and flipping a milkshake. These professionals were common in American diners of the 1930s and 1940s. Workers cut blocks of ice from frozen lakes for storage and future use. This work was common before modern refrigeration. During winter, ice was stored in insulated warehouses for use in warmer months. Tourists enjoy the view in Egypt, marveling at the vastness of the Sahara Desert. The photo was taken from the top of the Great Pyramid of Khufu, also known as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Young people enjoy free time during a break in activities. The scene captures a moment of outdoor relaxation and fun. The photo was taken in 1910. It was common to find ways to entertain and break up the monotony of work. In many places, workers created moments of relaxation during breaks. Drivers took part in an experimental ride resembling a roller coaster. These tests were used to demonstrate vehicle durability and driver skill. The image shows a horse jumping over a table where soldiers are seated during a demonstration exercise. Such displays were common to showcase cavalry skill and rider control. Auroch was a robot created by Ben Skora in the United States during the 1970s. It was designed to perform household tasks such as serving drinks and moving objects. This expedition was the first successful overland crossing of the Antarctic continent. It was led by Vivian Fuchs, with support from New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Australia, and other Commonwealth countries. In the 1930s, creative solutions were common in big cities. In June of that period, some families used grates installed on apartment windows. In 1960, a person enjoys the sun using a foldable reflector in the Netherlands. This accessory helped direct sunlight onto the face, intensifying the tan. In the 1930s, a curious accessory called the magic hat was created. Despite its flashy name, the item did not perform as expected. It became known as an example of an unusual and creative invention of the era. Young drivers in one-horsepower vehicles race around the Indianapolis track at 20 miles per hour in 1950. This photo, taken in the 1920s or 1930s, shows a smiling woman's face surrounded by a large pile of grapes. The scene appears to have been staged during a harvest or a promotional event related to fruit production. At the time, images like this were common in advertising campaigns and agricultural fairs, celebrating abundance and farm labor. The woman's cheerful expression helps convey a light-hearted and festive mood typical of cultural records from that era. This photograph shows a woman using a traditional method to carry water, balancing 2 buckets on a pole across her shoulders. At that time, direct access to piped water was rare in many regions. Sydney, Australia. Machinery in operation at the Anthony Horton & Sons store around 1935. This image shows the interior of one of Australia's largest department stores at the time. This artifact showcases the design and technology used in firearms at the start of the 19th century. Made in 1802, the pistol stands out for its craftsmanship and period-typical details. A reader reads the newspaper aloud to factory workers, keeping everyone informed during the shift. This tradition began in Cuban cigar factories in the 1860s. City workers document the removal of rats collected during a sanitation campaign. This effort was in response to public health outbreaks that worried local authorities. Before automation, boys were hired to manually reset pins on bowling lanes. These young workers spent hours in noisy and hazardous environments. Operators work at a switchboard for the National Telephone Company. These systems were operated manually and allowed calls to be connected between different lines. An image captured at a popular sports field of the era. The venue was known for hosting amateur matches and community gatherings. The 1950s saw recreational football grow across various regions of the United Kingdom. This historic image, dated July 17, 1938, shows Vienna police lifeboats racing on the Danube Canal. Participants wear Nazi-era uniforms, and the raft prominently displays a swastika flag. This image shows a newly designed object or structure representing technological or aesthetic advances of that period. Such new designs symbolized innovation and optimism for the future. Montreal, Canada, 1920s. James A. Craig appears in this image demonstrating a fully automatic dialing system. This innovation marked a significant advance in communications by eliminating the need for human operators to complete calls. Chief Thomas K. Yallop of Toppenish, Washington, leader of the Yakima Tribal Council, makes a special visit to his son. The scene depicts a symbolic meeting between generations in an open field. It's a poignant moment reflecting pride, culture, and family. In 1896, men and boys gathered around the wreckage of a train at Buckeye Park in Lancaster, Ohio. The sight drew the community's attention, becoming a curious local event. A political cartoon published in the Western press shows two leaders dividing the map of Europe. The image symbolizes the non-aggression pact signed between Germany and the Soviet Union. A man holds the Krumlov, a curved barrel attachment. This equipment was developed in the 1940s to allow shots around corners and over obstacles. Gigan, a robot weighing about 190 pounds, was built in Italy in the 1950s. He could carry two people at once. The robot was constructed to showcase strength and technological progress and was used in public events and exhibitions. This is an image of Piet Vandervard, taken in 1955. At the time, he gained attention for his weight, being considered one of Europe's most remarkable men in terms of physical appearance. The photo reflects how personal traits drew notice in historical records. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please use the Super Thanks tool below. Your contribution helps us keep bringing you amazing historical content. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video.